Yo, what's good? So this video is inspired by Duty's video, rappers we're leaving in 2023. And I'm not gonna lie, there are some rappers I like to leave in 2023, but I don't really see them being left behind in 2023, unfortunately. So we're just gonna go over the rappers that are gonna be left behind in 2023. Starting off with almost every rapper from the 2021 TikTok generation, and this might hurt some of your guys' feelings, but these guys are just not going up. They've been stagnating for a long time, and now that there's like a new wave or like new kind of generation of underground rappers, I'm not gonna say any names, people aren't really interested. Okay, I'm gonna say the names of the ones that are being left behind. People aren't really interested in Slum Sixes, SGP West, Tana. Maybe some people are interested in Tana, Young Chris, Young Fazo. A lot of these guys, people aren't really interested in them. Number one, because they didn't change their style at all. I mean, they did change it lightly, but it's not enough. It's like not that big of a change for 2 years. They're mostly just all the same. So let's start with Slum Sixes. Slum Sixes was alright. I was never like a huge fan of him or anything, but he had his own style. You know, you could kind of respect it. He did his thing, you know what I mean? And you could tell he had some sort of uniqueness to him, and because of that he had like his little fan base and people would tap in with him. But I don't know when this like shift occurred, but all of a sudden he got a little older. He started trying to hop on the street wave. Trying to become a street rapper, by the way, is like the death of so many underground rappers' careers. One of them being Pasta Flocko. He used to make this really good melodic type music similar to Lil Tecca, but he could sing and he would do it on like more SoundCloudy underground rapish type beats, and he had this really cool style. And then he decided to become a drill rapper, and we just haven't really heard of him like that since, or he's just not as big. It's undeniable, unfortunately, you know. And the same kind of thing happened with Slum Sixes. Slum Sixes, he started he didn't become a street rapper, sorry, I don't want to like get any of you guys mad, but he started trying to put on this image and persona like he was this or that, and because of that, his music, he tried to like play that into his music as well, and I don't know, it just wasn't as enjoyable. I did like some of his newer stuff with like Nate CXO and stuff like that. He has some cool songs here and there, but it's just not something I check out. Like if someone told me Slum Sixes is dropping an album, I'm not listening to it. Someone told me that he has like a really good song, like maybe I'll check it out, listen to it a little bit, but his career isn't really going anywhere, and that's why for me, we're gonna have to leave this guy back in 2023. All right, the next rapper is also friends with Slum Sixes. His name is SGP West. I'm not gonna lie, out of all of these guys, I was the... Actually, no, I never listened to Young Chris, but I listened to some SGP West's music, and it wasn't too bad, I'm not gonna lie. He had like this auto-tune, distorted sound. I think Duty talked about it in his video, and he had like his little wave. Like he wasn't super different like SGP West. Like if you listen to SGP West, you'd know this dude isn't like, he's not like what Xavier Sobase is doing right now, or like any of these other underground rappers, but he had his own style too, similar to Slums. It was just a bit more basic, and he had some big songs. He was good at like collaborating with people, I guess, putting himself in like the scene with others. I think he was like really good friends with this guy named Only Bino back then. They were going crazy. Speaking of that, that guy was left back in 2022, my bad. But him and Slums, they collabed a lot. And I don't know, for this guy, he did two things that kind of made me go like, yeah, we're leaving him in 2023. Number one, he like didn't really evolve that much, or sorry, he did. He kind of just stuck with doing the same thing over and over again. He like flooded the market. He just dropped a ton of projects, and that's cool, but like when there isn't progression like that, eventually he did drop on different types of beats and stuff, but it just wasn't that different because he was never that different in the first place. Like he dropped like this project on some pretty crazy beats, and then he tried to hop on these street beats, which no one really liked. He tried to hop on like these young boy type beats and just like these really street rapper type beats, and the reason no one liked it is, number one, he was never really hopping on this type of music, and he wasn't like that. Like, you know when a rapper or someone is, you know, living that life. And SGP West, you know, his name is Wesley, right? You know, come on, right? And of course, he's an underground rapper, and when people listen to underground rappers, they want to hear something different, not something they hear, you know, just regular schmegler that they can just go and see on World Star. And that's kind of the way he was going. And he almost immediately started getting called out by fans for this. I think he posted a couple snippets, like Trillers, to his Instagram, and people were like, yo, what is this? It wasn't bad, by the way. It was like good music. It's just he wasn't like that, and all of his fans were pushing back so hard, and they were all hating on it like crazy, but he just decided to go with it, and he dropped like 2 or 3 songs, and they didn't do that well. And then he dropped music videos for them, And I think he really thought that he could just like transition into being like a street rapper. I thought he could like blow up or something, or just leave the underground behind. But ironically, I guess now he's getting left behind. It didn't really work out, and he had to backpedal and drop a bunch of projects, new styles and his older former style, but it wasn't anything new. He wasn't really pushing anything new. And to add to that, he wasn't really like being seen with people he was being seen with before, if that makes sense. He wasn't really collabing with anyone new. He was just like sticking to his own self. And it hasn't really been working for him. I don't know. He just like lost all his hype, and no one is really interested in listening to him. Like if you told me FTP West dropped a new project, I wouldn't listen to it. The next artist we're leaving in 2023 is Young Chris. I'm not gonna lie, we honestly left this dude in 2022, but I'm just making it clear. I think Duty talked about it too. Young Chris, he had like a couple of crazy songs. Not crazy songs, I mean songs go crazy on TikTok, like ballistic, like viral everywhere. He had one with Tana, Off the Leash, and he had a couple that I can't name because I'm not actually a fan of him. But I did see him everywhere in 2021 and when he was blowing up and stuff. But eventually, after that whole TikTok wave, his whole buzz kind of fizzled out, and ever since then, because all of his songs, his large songs, were all TikTok hits, or when he had that hype, like I remember he would not freestyle, sorry, he would remix popular songs on SoundCloud, and they would get insane amounts of plays. He's not really able to do that anymore. He has a very basic style that's not really like, it's not really like known to any, it's not really like typical for like an underground rapper or someone to be like collabing with all these rappers in the underground, to be doing the basic type stuff that he was doing. Like he was just rapping like a regular rapper. By the way, there's nothing wrong with that, but a lot of people aren't gonna like you just because of that. And I wouldn't even say his music is trash, just like it's not something I'd be interested in listening to. And I guess other people agree, because at the end of 2023, no one really cares about this dude's music. Or sorry, it's 2024 now. No one really cares about this dude's music, so we're gonna leave it in 2023. The next rapper we're leaving in 2023, and the last rapper on this list, is Tana. Okay, so some of you guys are gonna be mad. Honestly, like I kind of like him, but I'm just saying, like my overall standpoint from what I see, his career doesn't seem to be doing too hot. Basically, no one is interested in listening to new Tana, or if Tana dropped a new project, no one really tap in. Like I don't really think anyone's listening to Tana. I think when Tana dropped his last project, no one listened. So that's already a telltale sign that he doesn't have that strong of a fan base. What is another thing is, and he actually makes pretty good music. I like his music. His music is pretty good. But if you look on Spotify, the majority of his songs are all his big hits. His top songs are all his big hits from like 2021, like 14, Off the Leash, or that might have been 2022. And that one song with Lil Tecca, that's not coming to my mind. But he had like those TikTok hits, and then he had a couple that went semi-viral on TikTok, and I think he thought he could just get away with doing that forever, which is kind of like his meta. He would tease something on TikTok, the sped up version or something would go viral, and then it would get a lot of buzz, and people were like, oh, even if the mainstream people on TikTok wouldn't know who Tana was, it would still build a lot of like hype and anticipation for his song, and then you would drop it and it would do well. I think he had this one song called Fear No Man, which is just one of them that he did that for. And he had this song with Lancey that he also did that for. But after doing that one time, it worked. The second time, it worked. But after a couple times, it just didn't work anymore. And that promotion strategy isn't working for him anymore. And part of that reason is because people aren't really interested in listening to the same types of Tana songs over and over again. After he blew up with his like plug sound, he started hopping on this like Destroy Lonely sound. And then I think he started hopping on, now he's doing like, I don't know, it's like, it's not Destroy Lonely anymore. It's like, it's pretty original to him, but it's too late, people aren't really that into what he's doing. Another thing I wanted to say is, what's kind of interesting to me is artists who you think people wouldn't be interested in listening to. Like some of them, for example, Rich Amiri are, oh wait, I forgot to say it. Yeah, we're leaving Tana in 2023. Okay, so artists like Rich Amiri, who are much more hated, and a lot of people, when Rich Amiri was first coming out, were like, damn, this dude is trash. He turned out to get the fan base that all these other underground rappers couldn't at the time in 2021, and he did have a couple TikTok, I wouldn't say hits, but big songs, and he kind of defied the odds. Now he's selling out shows. When Shine played his first show in like years, the last time Shine played a show was like when he was super young. He played his first show in years. Rich Amiri was the headliner for that show. Shine wasn't. Rich Amiri, he's like able to pull shows, and he's doing better than ever. He just dropped an album which I wouldn't say is like super unique or super crazy. It was mostly just like a rip off of Future, but he did well. There's some good songs on there. He somehow surpassed all of them, and he's going headstrong into 2024, unlike all these other dudes. Another one is Che. He's doing really well, and I would never expect that either. Honestly, at 2021, I think Slumps and Tana would be doing really good by now, but they just didn't play their cards right, to be honest. I don't really think that. Same thing with SSG Kobe, but I guess we left him in 2022. But a lot of these guys just didn't play their cards correctly. They had a lot of hype. For example, SSG Kobe was signed to Zach Bia. He had a Lyrical Lemonade co-sign. Tana, he was introduced to the mainstream light through Lyrical Lemonade, and he had a ton of exposure, especially through being signed to Lil Tecca. Like, he could have probably taken things further if he had, I don't know, just satisfied his fans and progressed his sound a little more. But I guess they didn't, so that's on them. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a nice day, and see you tomorrow.